Hello, my little Liebfrau Milches, and welcome to Moohead Radio, the Monday edition. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine, back and back to stay. Sorry about Friday, but there are so many things and moving parts in my life that, and hi to Double P, who jumped right into the chat room. Today's program will be getting into the Cavaliers' failure in Game 1. And why that kind of really portends a rather ominous thing.
Like a sweep?
No, I'm not going to say that, but I would say that there is reason to be concerned. And hello to David Talevsky. Hi, David. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Moo. How are you?
I'm doing real well. We got a couple of panelists, and we
oh my God, they're
and actually a host who's willing to broadcast. And it's been quite a ride, I'll tell you that. We do have a lot to talk about, Double P, but what I want to start out the program with is that it is getting closer and closer. I have put in an offer that has been accepted on a home in Northeast Ohio, and I have that's the reason why Friday's program went kaboom. I've been working behind the scenes, doing a lot of things to try to get prepared so that we can be up there in the summer by like June the 1st, if all things close properly. So this is going to be an interesting, busy time of the year, unexpectedly so, but a good situation, and it will be fun doing broadcasts from up in Northeast Ohio. I'm glad that the Cavaliers managed to lose before I got there. Brian Morris, something, this guy is unbelievable. All right.
Does this rule apply to me too?
Yeah, don't cuss. I'm listening. Oh, really? Now, what would a cow do?
Moo.
Don't cuss because I'm listening. The whole show is about you, isn't it, Brian? Yeah. Isn't that something? I've been doing this for 20 years, and I don't even know who in the heck you are. All right. And yes, I can guarantee you that I will.
Well, I probably will too.
That I will swear. I will invariably swear just because you're here. Cows don't like to be threatened. But, Bronk brought up the horrible thing about the execution of 18,000 cows.
That's terrible. That is like, there's no joke there, is there? There is absolutely no joke there.
No.
Imagine the smell, you're like, you got your house, you got your ranch all sorted out in Texas, and suddenly there's this big explosion. You get this waft of 18,000 melted cow heading your way.
So now, Brian, you can report me for blocking you because you've been reported to YouTube. You should know. Hooves are fast. We don't have opposable thumbs, but, we get the job done. You don't come on here and threaten a cow. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Too bad, Brian. It was nice knowing you, though. It really was.
Yeah, take on the bull, you get the horns.
That's exactly right. All right. So, what?
18,000 dead cows, though. Tragic.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Just that little Brian Morris was blocked. Yeah. Wow. But 18,000 cows just down just like that. It's genocide, bovine genocide. Yeah. Horrible piece of news. Okay. So I will be, I hope, in Northeast Ohio by the 1st of June, and believe me, trying to get into a house that we're doing on the fly. This is the real trick, is to have enough stuff in the house to be able to actually live there, to get the services and utilities, including the internet, up and running So
Yeah,
I would
that
have
is.
the ability to do a program.
Yeah, that is awkward. I moved 300 miles 2 years ago. That was bad enough, but moving 2,000 miles is a bit lumpy.
I
But
mean,
hey, oh,
and this is what's going to be really sticky about this is that I'm going to have to probably get a laptop up there because
well,
I'm not driving, I'm flying.
sure.
So
Yeah,
I'm not going to have any transportation except a rental car. So I'm going to have to take care of that when I get there. So it'll be real
yeah.
interesting to see how it all plays out. But it's just another adventure in life. What can
Where
I
are you
tell
going to
you?
be? Back in Canton?
I'm not divulging my location because there are
Yeah,
people like
best
Brian
not
Morris out there.
Yeah, best,
Oh,
best
yeah,
not
I
to.
hear you.
I'm going to be somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
Trust no
Okay.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, let's just say that I'll be pretty much in the middle of things. I mean, I'll just be,
You'll be
not
there.
very far away. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So
You'll be able to
let's talk.
drop in for Mary Kay for lunch,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the media is going to have a lot of fun with me up there because if you thought I was hated before, now I'm going to be hated all the more. And my ridiculous opinions and my constant cursing and just overall bad attitude,
Yeah.
which I don't have a bad attitude. I mean, I think I'm a very
It's just an
reasonable
act.
guy.
We know Mark's a nice guy. It's the cow's totally different though.
My name is Norman Bates. I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers because I don't know how
We
long this
can.
show is going to last because it's not like there's a ton to talk about. The Cavaliers just came out,
They were behind the whole fucking game. I mean, how are you supposed to win? You catch up with the last 2 minutes and you run out of gas.
Well, the problem with the Cavaliers against the Knicks is that they were outworked.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And there can be no excuse for not moving your feet, not getting rebounds,
not blocking out, not doing all that shit.
the effort quotient just wasn't there. It was matched and upped by the Knicks. And let me explain something that it was the most frustrating part of it is that we got no help whatsoever from Okoro, who couldn't hit the anything.
Oh no, he choked. And he got his head taken off too.
And negative 14 rating for Karis LeVert, who didn't show up. And you would have expected more from him because he did such a nice job down the stretch. But who did he play for? No, he that's
he
right.
Was Karis revert.
Yeah. But what can I tell you? He played for the Nets back before the Nets really had winning records. And what does he know about playing in the playoffs? What did any of them know? And except for Donovan Mitchell, who scored 38 points and was really tremendous. But this didn't show up. And we don't have anybody who can stop Brunson. That's a fact. And if you don't believe me, then why in the world, or, to Brian Morris, why in the fuck?
Why is it?
I mean, if you're using Jetty Osmond as your defensive weapon against somebody, you're in a world of hurt. And Brunson saw that and his eyes got big. And the fact was, we had nobody else to put in the game.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And when he needed to get the points, he would back him down, hit the fadeaway, and he took him off the left-hand side and banked it off the backboard. Jetty Osmond, it was +1 while he was on the floor, at least. And the other real disaster is turning out to be Ricky Rubio.
Oh, yeah, he was horrible.
Just very slow motion.
He had that one steal in the corner, though, which was brilliant, which I don't know. He somehow got past the guy, took the ball and dribbled it.
How did they miss 2 easy, wide open layups?
There were loads of layups missed. There was a lid on the basketball, and it looked like a Rucker Park game gone bad. Where they just allow to kill each other. Because there's bodies on the ground every
Neither
30
team was great.
seconds. Go ahead.
What, David?
Neither team was great, honestly.
And
No,
that's
it
the
was-
honest truth.
it-
The
true.
thing that's hurtful is that if a team's going to get a road win, at least make them play great to get it.
Yeah.
But the Knicks did
Exactly.
not play great. And no matter what Stephen A. Smith says, they were not great. We couldn't. I mean, Darius Garland didn't take a shot in the second half of the game.
Really?
He took
Wow.
nothing. I mean,
No,
he
I
did
believe that.
nothing. I mean, there was
believe
like, it was really unfortunate.
Well, he
And-
can get hit in the head too, so I don't know. But where was Lamar Stevens? Was he sick or hurt? Or they just
No,
didn't
I mean,
wanna
they
play him?
just decided to go with the rotation they went with. That doesn't help us because he can't hit the broadside of a barn. And
Danny Green. What the hell they bring him in for?
who?
Danny Green. Does JB
What?
Bickerstaff have something against him or what?
No, he's a peg leg. I mean,
Yeah, he can't.
the problem is, it's one thing to flash him for short periods of time, but he can't D up. He doesn't have the side to side lateral movement that is necessary to play defense. But he can, if they're going to do what the Knicks are going to do with Thibodeau, they're going to just follow Mitchell around everywhere he goes, and Darius Garland the same. Then you need to have a guy who can knock down an open shot. The thing that was really weird to me is that he put Dean Wade on the floor and he was gone in a flash. He threw up that horrible three that just banged off the backboard and didn't catch any iron
It
at all.
barely hit the backboard. It
Yeah,
was
but it was a
horrific.
rushed shot, and he just looked like
Like he was going to puke afterwards.
yeah. And off the floor he came, and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
I don't. And if we had two big men on the floor, I couldn't
You'd never
tell.
know it. You'd never know it, man. You'd never know it. It
But
was an awful game.
The other thing I can tell you is Darius Garland has to be smarter. The whole team has to be smarter.
Yeah.
What the Knicks were doing was just sucking them in to Mitchell Robinson. And that was, and all they had to do was stop and pop. But for
Yeah.
some reason, they were insisting on trying to go all the way to the basket and throwing up these high arcing layups that had no chance of going in, that played into the hands of the mentally limited Tom Thibodeau. And it just doesn't seem, I don't get it. The pull-up was there because Mitchell Robinson isn't going to come away from the basket. And
Yeah.
the backbreaker was the 3-point shot
Sure.
at the end of the game when the Cavs took the lead,
Yeah.
and then Hart coming out there and with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, draining a three from the top of the key. That was a backbreaker, and give him all the credit in the world.
Game now.
Huh?
Hart might not play. Hart's not playing the next game. He's got an ankle injury. Says doubtful.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Randall, we gave up way too many points to. He was limping on the court.
Yeah, everyone was getting killed. I mean, literally, I'm surprised that there are people seriously hurt in that game because it was brutal. It was like Rucker Park, gone mad. It was
Double
crazy.
P is saying there are plans to rebuild Cleveland Brown Stadium to be announced next week. It would require the team to play elsewhere for multiple seasons. What are you talking?
Let's go to Buffalo.
Where is that report coming from? Is that coming from that? Who is that Jagoff guy who Stainbrook? Is that his name?
It's not him. I think it was someone else. I saw that on Twitter earlier.
I mean,
Twitter's always
is that what we do?
reliable,
Is
isn't
we just say report without? I gotta
Nick
source
Foles
this.
double
You gotta
play.
source this stuff. I don't think that the Browns are gonna. I don't think that would be the case.
If I find it, I can probably send that to you later. I think Nick Carnes might have had it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no doubt that they're talking about refurbishing, Cleveland Brown Stadium, which is no longer First Energy.
Yeah.
That is gone. But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of exciting. I'm going to be up there when this thing gets built. How exciting is that?
Wow.
I mean, not for you folks, for me.
Oh, I probably shouldn't tell you that it was snowing today in Cleveland, according to some of my friends.
Well, it was just mixed over here where I was.
Yeah, I heard it was 88 the other day, and now it was 35.
Snowing,
85, yeah.
Yeah, unreal. WKYC, I think, is what the dyslexic double P meant.
Poor double P.
Yeah, Channel 3 reported it. I mean, that would be absolutely. I mean, is he getting ready to just sell the team or
that
move it?
Stadium's a shithole, though, and it is.
I don't know.
It's a shithole.
But I don't like the stadium. I think it's sterile. I said that from the moment that it opened up. It's got but the bad history is the ownership of the team, and I just can't imagine that. It's like, well, for a couple of seasons, we're just going to be gone. Good night, everybody.
We're gonna like it.
Playing in Columbus.
Oh, maybe they'll play at Fawcett Stadium or whatever they call that nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what will happen. Mary Kay Cabbagehead will recommend that they play in Cincinnati every other week during seasons.
Good play at Infosys Stadium in Akron, but that's a dump too. That was built
I'm surprised that's still standing.
Yeah, there is no facility that would facilitate Cleveland Browns fans the way that they are rabid. No way.
No.
The Rubber Bowl's practically in my backyard. That's practically almost gone now.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that was the only stadium that ever sounded like a condom. Just not my thing.
Wow.
But at any rate,
anyway, where were we?
To finish up with the Cavaliers before we move on to the Browns, what has to be done? The problem with the Cavaliers is twofold. If they do get blown out in this series, then Bickerstaff's job will be in danger. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing that's bad about that,
he's gone if they're getting swept.
Yeah, if he gets swept, yeah. Hey, Christopher Milton, how you doing? Nice to see you. If it's a sweep, they're gonna find a way because he's lost his job in other places. But the real problem for the Cavaliers isn't just isn't a coaching issue. It's a roster issue, and to do what they did to get Donovan Mitchell, and then the crippled, lame Kevin Love, Christopher, they shouldn't have. They just should have moved on him and gotten rid of him and let him, and try to trade him or have him signed away. So at least you would have an expiring contract that we could have utilized for next year. But that really hurt. And I don't think that the Cavaliers are in a position where they could recover. The problem is to build a roster is just the teams that have the ability, the flexibility in their salary cap. Those teams are the ones, the luxury tax or however you want to look at it. Those teams, look at the Knicks. They added Josh Hart, and he has been a very important cog because he's like the best rebounding guard in the NBA. So that's kind of been helpful for them. But we couldn't help ourselves at all. And the people we're dragging off the bench just are not NBA caliber players.
No. And our bench has less energy than Spike Lee does.
Watching Spike Lee,
how annoying is this guy? I mean, honestly,
it's very difficult to be a liberal in today's political climate when you have to watch Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee in the same game.
It's painful, isn't it?
It's
It is
painful.
painful.
I mean,
But what's worse is Hugh B. Brown too. If you have to listen to him,
another New Yorker.
yeah.
I mean, it just can't get
It
any
was
worse. Turn the
painful.
sound down, you know?
Oh yeah, that's what I ended up doing. It was painful.
New
That's-
Yorkers suck.
Well, I prefer them to Bostonians, but only just.
Oh, I hate them too, but
Yeah. Anyway, you know who Thibodeau reminds me of, and you could do the voice for him, Moo. He's now looking exactly like Ed Sullivan when he's like in a bad mood. He's got that pout and everything. He's got the Ed Sullivan Tom Thibodeau
And he has
voice.
little hunched
And
shoulder
the
thing.
hunch
Now you know
shoulders.
right
Now
here,
you know
coming
right
off
here in the
our
quote.
bench.
We
let's
have
really
Clifford.
hear it for John
Her-
Hartenstein. You know, yeah. The man looks like he should be on a Malox diet.
Yeah, he looks like the love child of Homer Simpson and Ed Sullivan. You know, the hair and the hunched shoulders and everything. I think you got to do a voice for him.
Oh, for Thibodeau, I have to
Yeah.
create a voice.
Yeah,
But
Ed Sullivan.
You know who he reminds me of? And I'm trying to remember what the movie was. It seems like it was maybe it was a baseball movie where the guy just kind of he was always pounding down like Pepto.
Oh, right.
Oh, it was North Dallas 40.
Okay.
It was the assistant coach or defensive coordinator guy who kissed ass, you know, to the Tom Landry-esque character.
Yeah.
That's what Tom Thibodeau reminds me of, a guy who's got a constant upset stomach. And, you know, I'll tell you, somebody claiming to be Brian Morris said, hey, Brian, why don't you wave to everybody? Let's go ahead and wave to everybody. Yeah, you know. Yeah, there he is, Brian Morris. I hope everybody enjoys not seeing him. I'm not gonna get into, you know, I'm sorry, buddy, but you know, bing, he's gone. I really don't want to be mean to anybody. Brian has his opinion, and I don't understand why people, if you recognize that there is some mature language used on a program, and it offends you as much as that, why you would listen, you know? It's like the people when they used to see me on camera, and they go, you know, God, you're fat. And I would say to them, and you must be interested in fat men. You must be a chubby chaser because you're after me. You're the one who's watching me. I didn't invite you. You
Correct.
just came on your own, you know? And so, yeah, that's what it's like. So at any rate,
where were we?
Just finishing up with the Cavaliers, but that is the problem. And it's not an easy fix because they don't have the means to do that, you know? They just don't.
Well, if we come out and win the next game, then there's still hope, I guess.
probably.
Well, I mean, look, if you believe that the Milwaukee Bucks are out, if they got good news, Giannis, he got a clear MRI. But
Wow.
any team is
Yeah, I thought that was the sort of thing that would happen when Haslam's buy a team, that your star player gets hurt. Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. You know, anything can happen. The Bucks are not down and out against the Heat any more than we're down and out. We still have an opportunity to get a win tomorrow, and then to get after New York and win one of two out in the Garden. I mean, it's not that it's impossible. It's that this team is very young and very shallow as far as the bench is concerned. They're just not deep enough.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Double P wants me to talk about
Oprah
Oprah
Winfrey?
Winfrey. Yeah, I mean, I've never understood. I mean, this guy might have early brain damage. I mean, I'm not going to say
He
anything.
did go to Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, you just don't know, but he's got a screw loose, and you can't rely on players like this. And talent is one thing, but you know, you want to keep testing the system. The system at some point just has to say, you know,
No.
and I wouldn't be doing that with Jim Schwartz. I really would not. You know, Jim Schwartz would have his foot halfway up Perion's ass. So I don't know what to say about that whole thing. And, you know, again, any kind of assault is unacceptable.
Yeah, but he still stays on the team because he's an Andrew Perry, whatever draft pick. You know, that's why we never get rid of these guys, do we?
I'm not sure what the situation is. I read the original report and story, and you know, whether he made physical contact in a slapping or a punching sense with a woman. You know, I just don't need more from this guy. You know, the sad part of it is he showed some ability when he played, but if you can't control yourself in public, you're not going to stay in the league long anyway. That's what it comes down to. The Browns have re-signed Michael Dunn, the guard. Yep. It's interesting. Christopher is saying Garland needs more than one assist, but we got a guard in Michael Dunn. Different sport, different position, but they obviously like the versatility of Michael Dunn. I wonder if at the end of his career, if he will be done. Thank you. Cornerback Thomas Graham, defensive tackle Ben Still. All of these guys have been re-signed. So, you know, these are guys who...
No relation to Billy Graham.
That's let's hope not.
Or Ben Stiller either, probably.
Yeah, Ben Stiller. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I needed that. Dunn is 6'5", 315 pounds, and that's that. He's been with the Browns for 2020, and his previous job was with the Seattle Dragons of the XFL, and he was selling hot dogs at their games. So that was that.
Half of them.
But they like Dunn because he can play all the different positions. He's a jack of all trades. So that's that. You know, it's incredible that he actually started in the place of Joel Bitonio in the victory over the Steelers in the wild card game back in the days of Baker Mayfield. So, you know, the Browns also signed Ohio native Wes Martin, a 4th-round pick of the Commanders. Everybody's leaving Washington. Somebody put $6 billion into that team, and so help me, you know, we're saying, you know, get out of there, Daniel Snyder. Yeah, with $6 billion. Boo-hoo. I mean, Daniel Snyder is one of the biggest jerks in the world, but man, he comes out smelling like a rose. That's the NFL. And if you don't believe me about the NFL, then you will believe me because of the ridiculous contract that Jalen Hurts signed. I mean, you can't be serious.
I saw that.
I mean, you know how long Deshaun Watson was the highest paid quarterback? It's over.
He's like 4th now.
That's right. And, you know, all the owners are pigs. And I keep saying this. And, you know, at first it was, well, Jimmy Haslam this, Jimmy Haslam that. And I don't like Jimmy Haslam. You don't like Jimmy Haslam.
I don't like him.
None of the Browns fans like Jimmy Haslam. But the fact of the matter is he shelled out to get a talented quarterback.
Yes, he did.
And the owners pissed and moaned and pissed and moaned and pissed and moaned. Well, now if Jalen Hurts is getting $255 million including 179 million guaranteed, then Lamar Jackson is sitting back and said, I told you I don't need an agent.
Wow.
I mean, if Jalen Hurts gets that kind of money, I mean, the bottom line of this whole thing is once the genie was out of the bottle,
Yeah.
and I said this at the time,
we all knew it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we knew it.
Everyone knew that the Browns were going to be bad-mouthed and this and that.
Yeah.
But these owners
Our
are
pigs.
a few wealthy white men / women who can do nothing more than in this ridiculous little environment they've created, compete with one another, and they do it when they and believe me, the reason that they say, okay, Jalen Hurts is getting 255 million is because they said, yeah, look at the Commanders, it sold for $6 billion. I mean, what's it matter? What does money mean to these people when a franchise sells for that much?
And exactly. And if you own a NFL team and a Major League Soccer team, why do you need a fucking NBA team too? I mean, what is going on here? Tell me.
Agreed. It's just, it's like the oldest of all jokes. Why does a dog lick his balls?
Because he can.
Because he can. And that's exactly what this is. They got the ability to do it. And so they're going to do it. Hurts extension includes a no trade clause. I bet that did give him an extension.
He wasn't even the number one quarterback at Alabama,
Yeah. A first in Eagles history,
Wasn't he from Oklahoma, though?
Oh, he was from somewhere, God sake. I don't think he was the number one quarterback there either.
Who are the highest average per season? Jalen Hurts at 51 million, Aaron Rodgers at 50.3 million, and Russell Wilson. What a value he's turned out to be at $49 million. And it's just a matter of time until somebody invests this kind of money, and it might be the Browns with Deshaun Watson. You never know when a quarterback just drops off the map like Russell Wilson did. Yeah. Of course, he's 32 years old, but still, I mean, they're forced to pay him $49 million. So to me, it's
he was Alabama and Oklahoma. Very good double P.
And I want to repeat, I'm not denigrating Hurts.
No, you're not at all. You're just happy for him, really.
I mean, look, yeah, you bet. I mean, and a person's worth in the NFL is what somebody's willing to pay him. That's
exactly and
the bottom line.
They're shortening their life. They're ruining their future life and their families, all for this glory and chronic brain insufferable.
So I say more power to him. But, he threw for 3,701 yards, 22 touchdowns, only 6 picks. He rushed for 760 yards and 13 touchdowns. I mean, he showed incredible growth in his second season as the full-time starter. He went from 19th, 54.6, to 4th, 66.4 in his QBR rating, and 26th, 61.3, to 11th, 66.5 in completion percentage, while dropping his average time to throw the ball from 3.12 seconds to 2.76. All right.
Well, you know what that tells me? That tells me he actually works at his game, which is so unusual for people in this era to actually try to improve their game and then get better. Unbelievable.
But the other thing I would bring up is that there have been quarterbacks who had remarkable seasons, and I'm blanking on his name. He's still out there.
Nick Foles.
I'm sorry? Nick Foles. That's right. He had almost identical statistics as Jalen Hurts, completed an incredible percentage of his passes, had the lowest of low interception rates.
Yeah.
And if you look at this tremendous season that he had, right?
Yeah.
Again, jumping from 19th to 4th in QBR, that's good.
Sure.
But he's still 11th in completion percentage. And who's to say that these numbers are going to stay at this level? It's one season.
It's an aberration, Moo. It's an aberration, Moo.
It's an aberration, Moo. Yeah. It's not a collie, by the way, Christopher. It's a Sheltie, and his name is Topaz the Wolf. So go ahead, Bronk, say collie.
Collie.
No.
No.
I know, he's a Sheltie. But they look like little collies.
They look like they could save little Timmy out of the well, but they probably wouldn't bother.
Shallower well.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not ridiculing Jalen Hurts.
No,
that
you're
isn't
happy
the
for
point.
him. We're all happy for him.
But
he's actually getting money that he deserves.
Does this guy, having one really good season, earn that deal?
I guess.
Well, I guess. And I don't know what they're all pissing and moaning about Deshaun Watson for. Deshaun Watson was in the league a whole lot longer than Jalen Hurts playing football and getting his ass kicked in Houston. I mean, go ahead.
I think that's more or less to do with what Watson did. That's what it's about.
Well, I mean, has anybody done anything with Houston?
No.
It's ridiculous. Their general manager, Nick Caserio, is denying that he's leaving after the NFL draft. But I mean, he was like, get me out of here.
If you have to deny you're leaving somewhere, you're definitely leaving, aren't you? No, I'm not leaving.
I mean, he's in his third year as the Texans GM, and it's completely believable that he would leave to get the hell out of Texas. You know, that team's a warped franchise like the Browns are. So, nothing, again, players are worth what you pay them. But if you look at decisions that are being made by other franchises in the NFL, the fear of losing a young quarterback is going to be so great that it'll be just a matter of time until we have $300 million contracts, just like in Major League Baseball. You know, you get a guy like A-Rod back when, and it's like,
Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, and giving them deals until they're 40 years of age, that sort of thing. You're going to be seeing that. Yeah.
It is what it is.
To me, it's all this ballyhoo yelling and screaming about Deshaun Watson, and then this. I mean, it's like, come on. This is what the owners have made of the sport. And if you want to
wonder if Watson hadn't picked Cleveland and he'd gone somewhere else, would people talk about him the same way?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, I mean, no. That's what it's all. When you go to Cleveland, you go there to die. Yeah. And if it were somebody else who picked them up, it would be brilliant. I mean, do you realize if the Browns had said, come on back, OBJ, come on back, they go, what a bunch of fucking fools, you know? Exactly. And the Ravens, there's a picture of OBJ holding up his number 3 jersey. And we're supposed to all, be at full erection looking at this picture. And to be honest with you, I mean, I don't really care about OBJ, but why is it considered you don't hear about the Ravens saying, well, that's kind of a lot of money to be giving a guy who's torn the same knee twice, the same ACL twice. I mean,
they're trying to appease their quarterback because supposedly Lamar said, get him and get DeAndre Hopkins and then we'll talk.
Yeah. And that's the thing about a guy who is self-destructive, and Lamar Jackson is self-destructive. He's going to be the guy who's broke, who's got nothing. He's going to be the next Jamal Lewis. Mark my words.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a screw loose, and this isn't a power struggle. You're not LeBron James. LeBron James had an incredible visibility that allowed him to be associated just with his face, and he got some early endorsements. But the things that LeBron has done that has made him so wealthy, it's not like basketball. It's like the investments that he made.
Sure.
I mean, you look at what he did with the Beats by Dr. Dre. He was a primary investor. If you look at how much money he made off those headsets, you wouldn't believe it. And
Not to mention everything he's done here in Akron.
Huh?
Not to mention everything he's done here in Akron.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who is, you may not like LeBron James, but he's a successful businessman. He has made very good business decisions.
Sure.
Lamar Jackson is not that. And, we'll see how it all plays out. But, while we're talking about quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes has said that his ankle's not 100%, but should be by the time the Chiefs break camp. But,
wow.
These injuries don't just go away.
Yeah, if he's slowed down in any way, people are going to catch up to him, and he isn't going to be as effective.
Well, it's what happens to all the quarterbacks who are immobile.
Happens to all of us.
But yeah, it does. Whether we're
whether
I
we
wasn't
want
very
to or
mobile
not.
to start with. No.
Yeah.
But at any rate, and the last thing that I'll talk about, because I'm still dealing with realtors and with, I mean, this is to me unbelievable. What we're trying to do here on a closing basis for a home in Northeast Ohio is to get everything concluded and try to get in there by June the 1st.
That's quick, man. And it's complicated here in England. There's different things going on, but in America, you got different states and shit going on. You got different rules, and I don't fancy it.
Yeah. So the Guardians, they had the game won. They should have swept. I want to say the Senators, the Nationals, and
the Washington Bullets. Yeah.
But the Guardians are in trouble because their pitching staff is decimated, and it's just the beginning of the year, and we've got Tristan McKenzie supposedly working his way back, but now who was it? Was it Plesac?
Savali?
Or is it Savali? Which one?
Yeah.
Savali.
Yeah.
He's got problems. And we're trying to win with smoke and mirrors with guys who are like Battenfield and people who
That's a great name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's a great name, but he's a pitcher. That doesn't make any sense, He should be an outfielder.
I mean, the one guy that they had start, and I forget who it was, gave up 8 runs in 3 innings.
Woo-hoo.
And you're not going to be able to overcome deficits with the kind of team. And I'm going to tell you something else that is the biggest single early season thing that has me really concerned about the Guardians, and that's Mike Zunino. He's a lousy catcher. I don't mean a lousy player. I mean defensively.
Yeah, he's a wild pitch waiting to happen. He can't catch anything.
That's why they lead everyone in wild pitches. He ain't blocking. He's not moving his feet. The guy is 32 years old, but he ain't working hard. And the one thing that we can say is Roberto Perez, and then after that,
the other
Austin Hedges, and then we had, who was the other one?
Austin Powers, and
but they were great at not just handling the pitchers, but they were great at blocking balls at the plate.
I mean, they were
Everything's
worth their
getting by this guy.
Yeah, they were worth their 150 batting average just by all the wild pitches they saved.
You know, guys. You know, and to watch, Bieber just really look bad. I mean, he was lucky to get out of that game, having given up only 3 runs. But then the bullpen comes out and just blows the thing on top of that. So it's today's game is rained out.
I think they're
with the
finally
Tigers.
the Indians or Guardians or whoever they're called now, the Spiders. I mean, they're finally catching up to the fact that they're going to be a 500 team, despite having Francona, who always gets them to overachieve. I mean, this might be the year that they finally hit mediocrity.
I mean, it's something that it is worthwhile to point out, and that's that Francona is a good manager.
Exactly.
And I have more faith in Francona as than I do with JB Bickerstaff.
True.
And
Kevin Stefanski.
And Kevin Stefanski. That's right. Because you come from Boston with unlimited funds, right? And you come to Cleveland.
And you win divisions.
And you win divisions in Cleveland.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he has done an exceptional job for this organization. And it's just this
well,
is going to be.
I think he's the best manager the franchise has ever had.
Yeah, well,
without doubt.
And we're going to find out how he handles this situation, because with pitching, we are, Herron gave up another 2-run homer out of the bullpen. The young guys are very erratic, as you'd expect them to be early in the season, but you would also expect the pitchers to have an advantage over hitters early in the season.
And they're not.
And they're not. That's
They're
right.
not.
And
They're awful.
the second a team scores like 4 or 5 runs, as a rule of thumb, the Guardians lose. And the defense has not been nearly as good. Rosario has been poor. The defense in general has just not been good. The call that went against them in the last game with the Nationals, the blocking the plate call, that's I don't think anybody can argue the case, but I've seen it before where it didn't get called and that got called.
Oh, well.
So, all right. Well, I'm done with what I have to say. It's going to be fun getting back up into the old stomping grounds. And you might even see me around. You might even see, I might show up, before you see me and try to leave. You might actually see me up there. And if you do, just say, hey, Moohead. And then get the fuck out of my life. No, seriously. Yeah, I will. I'm a friendly, docile field animal, and it's going to be fun. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be fun. Just seeing all the things that I haven't seen in God knows how many years, decades and decades and decades. See how the area has changed.
So what are you going to go to first? The Pro Football Hall of Fame or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I'm going to go to the house that I grew up in.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yep, which is better than the house I threw up in, which is another story for another time altogether. Yeah. But no, that would be the first thing. And we go to the old neighborhood. Absolutely. I mean, it's been literally almost 40 years.
Wow.
No, I take that back. 30 years since I've stepped foot, because I was there in '95 when Albert Bell hit his 50th. I was had the opportunity to be in the stadium for that, thanks to a record rep.
You can go see the abandoned remains of Millette Mall.
Oh, the old Canton Mall. Yeah. That's exactly right. It was so funny. I was talking to somebody and I said, well, so whatever happened? I knew that Millette Mall didn't exist anymore. And I guess it's like offices or something. I mean, it's
JCPenney is still there.
Wow.
But part of it's like demalled and like there's just abandoned portions of it. Because
Wow.
part of it was torn down years ago for a Walmart. That was about 2005 or so.
Wow.
There's
That's
hardly any
unreal.
malls left in that general area.
Yeah.
Half of them are gone.
Here in
Yeah.
Akron, we only have one.
Yeah.
Chapel Hill?
Summit Mall.
I know.
Summit Mall.
I'm joking. Chapel
Yeah.
Hill was that'll tell you how long ago it was that I was there.
Well, remember all the big deal about Randall Park Mall opening up and they were all glitzy it was? They had all these celebrities, and that is like totally a ghost town now. There's nothing there now.
Amazon's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dogtown Browns, yeah. A nice summer climate to get away from the horrible heat here. And I mean, there's a lot of places. I also want to go to Amish country because, I think those women are babes.
Yeah, they're hot. Well, if you like women without makeup, they're they're for you.
Well, thank you. All right, everybody.
Paradise.
Yeah, right. No traffic lights. Everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll be back again on Friday, by golly, and I'll keep everyone informed on how this all goes down time-wise. But thanks for tuning in, and enjoy your evening. Until next time, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
But